Welcome to Lively Lewis Stories.
Buckle up, because you're about to join Levi and Ivy on an adventure.
All you need is your imagination, and off we
go! Lively Lewis Stories!
So wiggly, so loose, so annoying, Levi thought to himself as he moved his stubborn tooth back and forth with his finger. Why won't this thing just fall out already? It had been about a week now, and one of Levi's baby teeth had become loose. And it wasn't just any loose tooth, it was his first loose tooth. He was excited at first, but as it became more and more loose and more annoying, he started to get a little nervous. Since it was almost ready to fall out, his loose tooth started to hurt just a little bit. It also got in the way when he was eating, it felt weird in his mouth, and he could forget about whistling, that's for sure. He was getting more and more nervous thinking about what it would feel like when it finally fell out. Would it hurt? Would it bleed? Would it happen when he was eating or sleeping? Or maybe when he was brushing his teeth, and if that happened, would it fall down the drain and be lost forever? And if that happened, would he still get a visit from the tooth fairy if he had no tooth to leave under his pillow? So many questions and so many nervous thoughts spun around in his head. Levi's parents always told him that it was good to talk about his feelings and to always go to them if he was having a problem. So that day, Levi decided to go and ask his parents how he could remove his loose tooth without it being that big of a deal. He just wanted this part to be over and to get to the tooth fairy gift. "Mom, I'm a little scared about my tooth falling out," said Levi to his mom as she was planting flowers in the backyard. "I don't want it to hurt, and I was wondering if you have a special way of taking out a tooth that's easy and pain-free." "Oh, absolutely, honey," said Levi's mom. "The best way to get a loose tooth out is eating a crunchy apple. Works every time. Just sink your teeth in, take a bite, and then just sit back and wait for the tooth fairy to arrive. Your little baby tooth will be stuck in the apple, and you won't even feel it pop right out." Levi did like apples quite a bit, so he thought this would be a great solution to his problem. But he wasn't totally sure. "Thanks, Mom. That sounds like it could work," said Levi with a smile. "Then how about I get you an apple right now?" asked his mom. "We'll have that tooth out in no time." I don't think right now is going to work for me," said Levi, sounding a bit nervous and getting up to leave. "What are we talking about?" asked Levi's dad as he walked outside. Levi told him his problem, and without any hesitation, Levi's dad said he knew, without a doubt, the best possible way to remove a loose tooth. "A piece of string and a doorknob, it's all you need," said his dad, pretending to tie an imaginary piece of string around one of his teeth. "You just tie one end of the string around your loose tooth and the other end around a doorknob. Then you stand back and have someone close the door really quick and pop! Tooth on a string." Wow, thought Levi, that did seem like a pretty cool way to take out a loose tooth. "Thanks, Dad. That sounds like a pretty good idea too," said Levi. "Great, let's go right now and get that tooth out," said Levi's dad. "Now, where did I put that ball of string I had out the other day?" "Levi, I really don't think that one will work," his mom chimed in. "Use my apple trick." "Levi, have I ever given you bad advice before?" asked his dad. Levi just giggled and reminded his dad of the time he suggested that they mix nachos and chocolate pudding together because, in his words, how bad could it be? "Okay, so maybe nacho pudding wasn't the best idea I ever had, but my loose tooth trick has never failed me," said his dad reassuringly. "I'll definitely think about it, Mom and Dad." Then he asked if he could go across the street to his friend Devin's house. He thought it couldn't hurt to ask Devin how he got his loose tooth out. He had just lost one a few days earlier. Levi got to Devin's house and saw that he was playing basketball outside. "Hi, Devin," said Levi. "I have a really important question for you. How did you get your loose tooth out? I'm a little nervous that it's going to hurt when my tooth falls out, and I just want to know the best way to get it out quickly." "You definitely asked the right person," said Devin. "I didn't even know it fell out, actually. I was playing basketball with my little brother, and when he went to block one of my famous three-point shots, he accidentally banged my mouth with his elbow. The next thing I knew, my tooth was bouncing around on the driveway. So I guess just have Ivy play you one-on-one and hope she bangs you in the mouth by accident." "Okay," said Levi in a confused tone. that doesn't exactly sound quick, but thanks for the suggestion. It really works. I'm proof of that, said Devin. How about we just play a game of basketball right now? I bet we could knock that tooth out in the first quarter. No thank you. Not right now anyway, said Levi, but I'll let you know if I change my mind. Levi quickly headed back home, but then saw another friend riding her bike on the sidewalk. Hi, May. Say, have you ever had a loose tooth? Levi asked. Sure have. I just lost my second tooth last week. May answered, smiling and showing Levi where her tooth used to be. How did it come out? Levi asked. I'm a little nervous about my loose tooth and I just want it gone. I'm looking for the best way to take it out. Any suggestions? I do have a suggestion, said May. I got a piece of paper towel, grabbed a hold of my tooth, put on my favorite song, and wiggled and twisted to the beat until it popped right out. I was so busy dancing to the music myself that I didn't even know it fell out. Thanks, May. That does sound like a pretty unique way to remove a loose tooth, replied Levi. Hey, why don't you come to my house now? I'll put on some music and we can dance that tooth right out of your mouth, said May as she started to dance there on the sidewalk. Come on, it'll be fun. I actually have to get home right now, said Levi, walking back towards his house, but I'll let you know if I change my mind. Thanks for the suggestion. Levi now had a lot of different things to think about, but he didn't feel like being pressured to do any of them until he had a little more time to think about what was right for him. Would it be a crunchy apple, a doorknob, an accidental foul in basketball, or a dance party that helped remove his tooth? He just didn't know, so whenever Levi needed a little time to think, he liked to sit down and have a sweet treat. The only sweet snack in the kitchen that day were some chocolate chip cookies that his mom had made a few days earlier. They were a little stale, but, they would do the trick. A cookie's a cookie, right? Levi sat down at the kitchen table and nibbled on a cookie. He could feel his loose tooth wiggling around as he ate. It made it very difficult to enjoy his cookie. I just wish this tooth would fall out already, Levi said to himself. I just want to look down and see my little tooth sitting on my plate so I don't have to think about it anymore. And at that moment, Levi heard a little sound, like something hard hit the plate that his cookies were on. He looked down, and to his surprise, there was his tooth. Not loose anymore. Instead, it was completely out of his mouth. He ran to show his parents, who were both so happy for him. So, was it an apple? Asked his mom. I knew it would work. No way. It was my doorknob trick, insisted his dad. Actually, Mom and Dad, it was the Levi stale cookie trick, he said with a giggle. Just a few bites into Mom's chocolate chip cookies, and it popped right out. I'm just so happy it's all over, and now I get to look forward to a gift from the tooth fairy. Levi was so excited because it was the first tooth he'd lost that he put himself to bed extra early that night. He put his tooth under his pillow and tried his hardest to fall asleep. After what seemed like forever, he finally felt himself drifting off to dreamland. But no sooner he was there than he felt himself waking up. What's that? Levi thought to himself as he felt something moving underneath his pillow. And that's when he saw her. The tooth fairy. She was so tiny and so sparkly. She wore a white dress with glittery tooth patch sewn right into the front. She had shimmering wings and a teeny tiny crown set on the top of her little head. Hello, Levi, she said in a sweet, quiet voice. I'm sorry if I woke you up. Congratulations on losing your first tooth. It's really great. Thanks so much, exclaimed Levi in a whisper, careful not to wake up anyone else in the house. I can't believe I'm meeting you. I'm actually really glad you woke up, said the tooth fairy. Since your tooth was ready to fall out any minute, I was watching you today. I saw you get all kinds of advice on how to remove your loose tooth. Lots of people were trying to tell you lots of different things, pressuring you to try their way only. I was very proud of you for staying strong and not doing anything you didn't feel sure about. And in the end, you did things your own way, and that little tooth popped right out. Thank you, said Levi. That means a lot. You trusted yourself, and that's so important, added the tooth fairy. Never lose that confidence. However, you do have to go back to sleep so I can leave your gift. Good night, Levi. I'll see you when you lose your next tooth. Good night, tooth fairy, yawned Levi. See you again. Levi fell back to sleep, and before long, the sun rays streaming through his bedroom window woke him up. He couldn't look under his pillow fast enough, and when he did, he couldn't believe what he saw. It was a chocolate chip cookie, but But not just any chocolate chip cookie. It was the best chocolate chip cookie he had ever eaten. As he gobbled down the last few crumbs, he smiled and remembered what the Tooth Fairy had told him. He was proud of himself too, happy he figured out what worked best for him, and happy that everyone else had figured out what worked best for them. So friends, trust your instincts and remember it's okay to find your own way of doing things. Just stay true to your unique self. Did you learn a lesson from this story?
If so, what was it?
And parents, do your kids have a story idea?
Leave a comment on our Apple Podcast review page with 5 stars, the idea and your kid's name for a chance to join Levi and Ivy on their next adventure. Until next time.
Thanks for listening. Come back for more.